I have to share my screen, right?
Yeah, please share your screen.
Okay. Wait. But then I don't have that presentation. I mean, format. Just a second. I don't have the image, Umesh.
I'm sharing the image. Just
Yeah.
don't worry. Just a minute.
Yeah.
I shared it.
Okay, I got it. Hold on. Okay, you can go live now.
Can you share your screen? You're able to?
Yeah. All right, you can see my screen.
All right, great, awesome. So sorry for the delays, guys. Welcome everybody to this 15th Industry E-Meet, Design Quotient Industry E-Meet of DQ Labs. Really excited to have all of you here on this platform. The reason why we created this platform is to give the design aspirants and their parents an opportunity to hear directly from a successful design professional. When I say design professional, it could be an architect, a fashion designer, a furniture designer, a design manager, or anyone who is related to the design industry. Now, it is quite important to understand, listen to them directly, because as parents, you may not be connected to design industry, or as design aspirants, you may not be having direct connections to this variety of design professionals. So this platform helps you bridge that gap. It provides a one-to-one face interaction with the professionals directly, so that you can ask all your doubts. And in these e-meets, the invited design professional will also talk about their journey, one of their projects, and the things that they have learned through this journey. Right? So it's going to be a very exciting and energizing session for all the people who are involved. Okay, so for today's presentation, today's e-meet, we have architect Garima. So now she is an architect and she has worked in 3 different countries. She has also done her master's from NUS Singapore, and she has worked on many prestigious projects in the industry. She's going to share all of that information. And finally, she has uh, come back to Bangalore, or she came to Bangalore to start her own design studio, generating some very interesting, very nice furnitures, custom furnitures, right? And her studio is in Koramangala, and it's very, very interesting to see her work, her projects, her commissioned works. The work is exceptionally outstanding, and it kind of belongs to the magazine work, right? So when you see these magazines and all that, you see some interiors and furniture and etc. You see the quality of furniture. Her work is on par or beyond par with that kind of output, right? So it's great to have Garima here today with us. So before we go into that, I would like to ask Dion if you can just introduce DQ Labs and who we are and what do we do.
Sure, I'll do that. But yeah, Garima has been super to have you here. I'll just take you through this. Hold on. So let me just introduce to everyone here a little more about DQ Labs. Hold on. Right, you can see my screen.
Yes, Dion, we can.
Okay, but hold on. It's in presentation mode, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So DQ Labs has been creating design superheroes since 2006, 2007. All right. We're based at multiple places: Bangalore, Pune, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mangalore, Trishu, Nagpur, and also online. And what we focus on at DQ Labs is the fundamental process of ideation. All right. So what we do is when students have ideas, we generate or guide those ideas into a certain direction, like what Siddharth has done here. So Siddharth has scribbled his ideas out initially, and then those ideas have been channeled into a final logo. All right. Now the context of this logo, although this is what Siddharth has done, the ultimate logo can be something like this, which is very beautiful. Okay, very beautiful and very professional. Now, this is the design thought process that we focus on, and there are tremendous careers available in these areas across design, architecture, and fashion. All right. DQ Labs has been started by Umesh and Sean. Both of them are from IIT Delhi, designers from IIT Delhi. Umesh is a TEDx speaker and he's worked at Jaguar Land Rover and Hyundai Motors. Sean is a transportation designer as well who's worked with General Motors. All right. They're both the founders of DQ Labs and Examplay EduTech. Right. So Umesh and Sean are the founders of Examplay, and Examplay is an award-winning learning platform. All right, they won the NASSCOM Design for India award, and incidentally, this research is in the area of learning design. All right, interesting because an architect who's worked in the transportation industry and now designing learning methods. All right, so that's the transition that Umesh and Sean have gone through. And this research has been very well accepted in Singapore at an international level. Now, what we do is we have this free learn design sketching program. If one of the team could share the link for this, anyone could learn design sketching for free. All right. We also conduct these industry e-meets. Like today, we have Ar.Garima, and we have school e-meets. There's an architecture school e-meet series that's going on. It's happening tomorrow as well. We have the design exploration program. We have skill development programs. We have entrance exam coaching for those trying for NATA, NID, NIFT, USEED, SEED. We have portfolio guidance. One of the unique aspects of DQ Labs is we focus a lot on experiential learning, and there's no other experiential learning than learning from live projects. So students get to work on real live projects for real clients. Okay, so the latest project is from a company called Tootly.in, and the project is for animation design. And that's a paid internship, and the previous paid internship is at the Learn Cloud from Texas, USA. We have 5 of our students are doing that, and we have students participating in the Designathon, where it's a beautiful platform for our students to work along with real designers, giving real solutions to real NGOs. So that's what we do. Um, Look out for the design hackathon. This is a new competition. It's an all India level inter-school competition. We'll share the details with you a little later. Look out for the details by the end of this webinar. All right, and all our programs run online. um, our results have been fantastic. We're yet to update these results, but we've got tremendous results. 4 first ranks, or rather first rank in 4 disciplines across NIDs. Tremendous results in the other design exams as well. All right. So please follow us on Instagram, dqlabs.designquotient, facebook.com/dqlabs. Go on to Google, search for DQ Labs, and you will find us. All right. If you don't find us, please take down these numbers. These are all our centers located across Bangalore, Pune, Chennai, Mangalore, Nagpur, Thrissur, Hyderabad, or you could contact us on our board number 959 100 1000. Thank you, and yeah, over to Umesh.
All right, so nice. So let's have Garima have her presentation now. Garima?
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Dion. Thanks for introducing and then take you forward from here. Okay, starting on to the presentation, as Umesh and team introduced, myself, Garima Kumar. I'm born and brought up from Delhi. I did my architecture from Sushant School of Art and Architecture, SSAA. It is a time when, in 1999, when Sushant School was under IP University. I'm sure now it's under its own Answers University, as you kids must be finding it as. So I did finish my architecture at B.Arch in 2004. Post that, I'll take you through the journey of how and where it started. Currently, I'm working as a design partner at Seven Pillars Design Studio. So it's a firm which is primarily a furniture design store, which is a home decor in Kormangla as well. It's a duo between me and my brother sibling, who's also an architect. Going again back to the journey from where I started with. So in 2004, when I finished my architecture from Sushant, I was first started with doing a project on Revit, which was a new that time. So I got an opportunity to work and intern at a place where my boss wanted me to go through the Revit software. So I was lucky enough in 2004 to get hands-on with Revit, and we worked in a couple of projects which was US-based projects. So I had a good control of documentation as far as the documentation of the projects were concerned, the details and what precisely the drawings should go from an architect's hands to the contractor at the site. I could get that kind of an exposure within 1 or 2 years of my working. That gave me an opportunity to work with Delhi International Airport. That's the DIAL. So DIAL had L&T as contractor that time. I'm using the industry term so that will help you out to know what kind of things we face and what are the terms that the industry keeps using. So please, it's good that you
just to highlight, the presentation is not showing up.
Oh, is it?
It's showing the folder. Yeah, the presentation is not showing up. Could you share the presentation, please? Yeah.
Sorry. It's strange. Because it's showing me to stop the share now. Now I go again. I go.
Yeah. So please select the entire screen option.
Okay. So share computer sound. Can you see the presentation now?
We can see a folder that is showing Garima as the file. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll go back again.
Yeah.
Have to stop sharing again. Are you able to see it now?
Now, yes. You can make it full screen.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm so sorry, audience. So that's my brother, which I shared earlier. So going on to the Delhi International Airport project. So the L&T were the contractors, and I was working under the firm Dixon Rothschild India. So that was a DRI. It was a subsidized branch, Indian subsidized branch of Dixon Rothschild. And we used to have a designer team called Woodshead, which were from Australia. So our job was to Woodhead used to give basic sketches and the drawings as far as possible, and Dixon Rothschild, our team was responsible to do all the documentation and the drawings, and the L&T's team was on the implementation side, the contractor side. As it was a huge project and there was huge team working on it, we had L&T, we had Dixon Rothschild, and a very few members from Woodshead team sitting all together at the site itself. So we had an office at the Delhi International Airport site. So that gave a very good exposure to me, very initial years, that where a contractor sits on your head, there are consultants like a structure, mechanical, plumbing. Then being an airport project, it used to have consultants like security, baggage, signage. So there were numerous amount of consultants that were involved. So even if you are doing a single plan, even if you were doing the designing or even a small interior signage, the other consultants were involved into it. So that kind of a mess, you would call it, as we were working in. So the documentation part was less as compared to the consultation, and the coordination part was more. So drawings like these we used to work out with Woodshead. Once these drawings came to us, we used to do details like this. So I mean, I don't have to go into the details of explaining what the Dial International Airport was, but it will just gave me an exposure of how details and how each and every consultant is involved in a particular project. So that was a good exposure for me working there. Post that, in the Delhi and the Dixon Rothschild firm, my boss wanted me to pursue lead certification, as you would have heard of. It's a lead USGBC certification. So I pursued my lead certification from India. Thereon, I got interested in doing green building consultancy. So that made me move to Singapore in 2010, where I did my MSc Building Science, or you call it Building Performance and Sustainability. That's the course that was done in 2010. So post that, I now had to move from architecture to a green building consultant. That's also called an ESD consultant. There are a lot of firms here in India who do green building consultancy. And these days, it's a mandate in for a particular companies, or for particular, they have the policies that their firms should be a green building firm. So saying that a green building firm, it should be water harvesting, it should have efficient use of daylight, indoor air quality, very less use of air conditioning, especially in extreme climates like Delhi, where you know that you run air conditions literally throughout the summer months, like 5-6 months. So these kind of optimization we do in a lead building consultancy. I'll just show you a brief example of what kind of projects, what kind of reports or what kind of data goes in there. So this was a project of UIDI. It's a building by those Aadhaar card UIDI buildings in Manesar. They have a branch in Bangalore also. So my particular office was doing Manesar building and the Bangalore building. I was handling the Manesar building that time. So we gauged like how the rainwater harvesting was there. What is the potential at a particular site? What is the sun path diagram there in the city where the building is placed? Then going into the detail of at the equinox, where is the shade going? So we figure out what portions of the building need more air conditioning, where you don't need air conditioning. Then we go on to the nitty-gritties of each and every facade, how a facade is casting a shadow, how deep will the daylight go in, how efficiently can you use your daylight as a resource of energy. So these are the kind of presentation. This is a very brief presentation that I'm showing you currently here goes in there. Other than that, there is an energy part involved into it, which talks about how you can optimize the use of energy in case your air conditioners are running throughout the day 24/7, especially a place like this, which is a UIDI. It's a center, where it's a data center. So data center means where there is a lot of servers going there. Where there is a lot of servers involved, you need to make the place air conditioned 24/7, even if there is no occupant there. And there the challenge was to make it low energy, low optimization in energy. So these kind of projects is what I did in ESD. Then from here, I moved to Singapore again. I did practice green building consultancy there in Singapore as a green A consultant. I had done projects in South Africa as well in India. So I got an exposure to do, Singapore has its own green building consultancy that's called a BCA Green Building. So I did work on those projects. Thanks to the Almighty to give me such exposure. Then from there on, I moved to Dubai, and having exposure in Revit from the very beginning, and all these softwares are very three-dimensional BIM related. I got a very good opportunity to work with a firm called B.Arch Consultants. It's a multinational company. I was working here as a Revit coordinator, or the whole managing of the project, wherein the drawings were coming from Vietnam. So my consultants, the people who were making the drawings, used to sit in Vietnam. I used to handle the Dubai branch, where I was liaising with the local authorities there to get the drawings passed on. So my job was right from the overall planning, dealing with the clients, dealing with the authorities in Dubai, as well as going into the details and checking how the stuff is going. So if you see these kind of drawings, they are byproduct of Revit, the software, if you would have heard of. So thanks to the time, because at our time when I was in 1999, we used to only have CAD. So you had to do an elevation separate, a plan separate, the details separate. But this kind of a project where it's a four building, 17 floor, it's going, you don't have to do each and every plan all over again. The details are done once, which gets replicated throughout. So this is all done in a software called Revit. It's in fact, it was worked on a technology called Revit 360-degree, the cloud 360-degree, wherein the project used to be live between me sitting in Dubai. I had a team, I had 2-3 people team in Dubai itself also, and some people in Vietnam. So we all used to work on the project simultaneously. So one person makes some changes, gets reflected by the another person. So these kind of cloud Revit helps us so that all the people in collaboration sitting at different places can do together. So this was majorly about my Dubai journey. I worked there for 3 years. Post that, I'll just go back to my childhood. I have grown and brought up in a family where my father used to have a furniture decor, his own setup. We used to have a factory, a manufacturing unit on the first floor of our house. So I've grown up in a place where furniture and these materials were very hand-on to me. To me, wood was a tool I could use every time. I knew the knowledge of what the wood is, how the polish is to be done. And my place, in fact, and the workshop used to be in a market wherein one side shop used to be a steel iron girder, the other one used to be a welding place, the third shop used to make the furniture doors. So I brought up in a marketplace where all the industries related to the architecture were already involved. So I knew I more or less had an idea of how things were working and how it's, they need to get executed. And thereon, me and my brother, he pulled me here to Bangalore to start with Seven Pillars Design Studio. That's the name of the firm that we are currently in partner with. So primarily furniture, Seven Pillars Design Studio is a home decor lifestyle store. We wanted to do something wherein we could bring in what we have been doing throughout our childhood, and also which suits our qualification. My brother is also an architect. And to tell you the kids, see, when I passed out in 2004, when I passed out, I felt that doing interiors used to be one stream which used to, lure me, it used to attract me a lot. But I used to think that, no, I've done architecture, and going from a big scale to a small scale will degrade me. That was my mistake, I felt, because somewhere inside, I always wanted to work on details, hands-on with the design, which can be implemented very quickly. So that when I now practice furniture designing here at the studio, I just love doing it. I feel that I'm more at peace here than what I did in architecture in last 15 years of my experience. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that those 15 years were not of any use to me. The how systematic the ways are, the things are implemented, how Revit helps, how the industry works, how the bigger multinational companies work. So all that counts into your learning. Never in life think that you're going back or something that you thought you will never do, you are doing. No, it's always been a learning curve. I may still be discovering what I need to do next another 10 years. So going on to the Seven Pillars Design Studio. So this is I'll start with what kind of image we had, because it's good for you to know when a business is being set up, the kind of a perspective a designer or an architect brings in. So we never wanted Seven Pillars Design Studio to be a place where it's on a commercial floor where you see the other shops that you see around, where on the market area. We wanted the Seven Pillars Design Studio to give a very homely, very warm feeling to any client who walks in, so that it talks about its style and the comfort as well. So we spotted out to this house, which we were fortunate to get it as. It is done by a very famous architect in Bangalore. And you see the results, how we converted it. I'll show you that across. These are the images of the house, the house, that how it was running. This was the drawing room, this was the kitchen area and the pantry area, view from the entrance lobby, the foyer, and the view towards the staircase at the first floor. So this is primarily what we got, and without touching majorly any architecture apart from the boundary wall. So this is, you see the boundary wall getting lowering down. The rest, we didn't touch any architecture inside the building. We just hooked on few interior pieces, and rest was all the finishing changes that we gave to the place, and somewhere working on our own onto the place, and then checking photographs of how it's looking and all that. We came up with a place like this. This is how currently the studio looks like. That's the Seven Pillars Design Studio. And also, now when we started onto the project, another challenge becomes, are you only doing furniture? You're doing home decor? What sort of projects, what sort of decors you are getting in? So we primarily wanted to go Indian, and we didn't want to get anything which was exported. So we made sure that we don't, I mean, that's the thing now, but thankfully we didn't do it that time. We didn't want to do anything which was non-Indian. So we brought in the antique and the vintage decors from all over the India. That is what we get at store, that's been procured. And the furniture that you see here is all done by us, manufactured at our own workshop. I'll take you through it, how we go through the furniture designing and its manufacturing. These are primarily the images of the studio that you will see. So it's not just the one product that you want to showcase as in only the furniture. It talks about the whole decor that a client may look at when they walk into the store, or an interior designer or an architect may look for their client. So we need to bring in that holistically concept, the whole concept of the studio here. So we brought in products like these, the lifestyle products that you see here. These are the few images from the store. And this is how the exterior, the show window looks like today. Products like brass, then even cutlery, or rugs and carpets, they all are in-house in the store. These are the kind of stools that you see is the kind of in-house art furniture, and how you club it with the decor, that's how it's showcased. I'll not take you to a lookbook. I've already almost explained you to the whole lookbook. Now going on to the main category, the furniture designing. So when we go on to the furniture design, we primarily need to take a feedback from what the client is looking at, what kind of a house or an image they want from their interiors. So first, like for example, this is the kind of a project that I'm talking to you about. It's a site in Mangla. It's been done by Mantri Architects, and we are hired for this project to be as furniture designers. So we first went and took a brief from the client, what they are looking at, what exactly is their requirement, and took the site photographs, did the site measurement so that we can do the, the detailed analysis of how the furniture are to go in as per their taste. So primarily, speaking of the architecture, the interior should talk of what the architecture is talking about. So we got a glimpse of moving at the site. We got a glimpse of what architect has done to it. The exposed red brick wall, the gray stone, the green landscape is what that house is talking about. They are doing bare minimum white walls, and so there was a turn now on. We'll switch on to the another presentation at this moment. Let me know if if you are able to see. Umesh, can you help me if you are able to see this presentation? Or Dion, are you able?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So this is the.
Garima, can you speak a little louder? For
Yeah,
some reason, not able to hear you.
I'll do that. Sorry. Okay. So going on to the living room, we presented them two different styles of furniture. Once you go into the studying about the furniture or any product, you will also learn about the history of the furniture or the style or the what styles of furniture came at what different times. So this is one of the styles called traditional style of furniture. Here in this particular scheme, that's called the option one. We are only focusing on the traditional style. So we gave them a brief layout of the furniture layout, as in where the coffee table is going to be. They had an existing swing from their previous house. They didn't want to get away with that. So the coffee table, we proposed them the two-seater, single-seaters, or three-seaters. You see the space is not that big enough. So considering that, then the dining table, a console table, the bench, and then we moved on to what kind of upholstery, what kind of a color, and what kind of a detail module that particular style of a furniture will talk in your house. So this is primarily that. Then we move on to a single piece of every design, as in if you talk of a three-seater sofa, then we talk of them to a traditional style sofa, which may have these kind of motif. That's the particular motif that will be replicated throughout. Then another option. So we go options. We give options to the clients like these. So these are all the three-seater sofas that we give to them. Then we go into the armchair traditional style, which may look like this. So these are the designs of the armchairs. I'm going a bit faster here because I feel you may not be needing to go into the details of this. Then the coffee tables, then we'll present them a range of coffee tables, then a similar traditional style dining table following the same color scheme and what we had thought about them, our proposal. We go into the details of, giving them these kind of an options. Now you see the living room. This is another option altogether for the living room, which talks of the mid-century modern style. So this is not the traditional style. It's a different option altogether. Same layout. We're talking of different styles. We're talking about mid-century here. Mid-century will go with what color upholstery. Some wicker or cane work will come in here. So these kind of details we'll bring it. When we talk of wicker, it'll come only not only in the chair, it'll come on the partition. So how a particular module will get replicated at different furnitures so that they're talking in sync with each other, not that they are, they are talking London and walking to Tokyo kind of thing. So these are the kind of armchairs in the mid-century. So primarily, this is the kind of presentation that we would give to a client when for a furniture design when they come. So this is their lounge in the basement. So now here we're talking of the contrast. This is an more private to them. This is more of relaxing to them. So we talked of white walls here with tint of colors being introduced, how we got inspired from Rajasthan style and how we bring in the upholstery and other stuff. So what kind of sofa styles and stools to be introduced. So these are the kind of presentations we give to the client that you've seen. I'll move back to the previous presentation. So So once the client finalizes the design, uh, and then we go on to the detailing of it. That's called the shop drawings, so-called the shop drawings. So wherein the shop drawings, we talk of the sizes, we talk of the shapes, we talk of shapes ergonomically, uh, sizes suiting to their house, as we had already taken the dimension, and what finishes do they want in that? Do they want it to be a dark, light, what kind of finishes? So all that's being taken care during our shop drawing. So it goes to and fro at our end to the client's end. If you see a simple chair, I mean, it's not showing in the plan, but it should, I mean, ideal chair, you see, broadens up, narrows down at the back, should be broadened up at the front. And there is an ergonomics that's involved in the chair. Sometimes the kind of challenges we face is that we do a design, we've shown it to the client gets it approved, we've done the shop drawing. When it goes to the workshop, we realize that this is not getting worked out. As in, you may find that that the chair is such that it's bending down, it's falling down, or it's bracing, or its detailing is not being able to work out. So these kind of challenges that we face, in the industry, or client would come up asking for a particular kind of finish. Say for this particular dining chair, the client had a very specific requirement that they wanted the whitish finish, which is actually mango wood finish. Okay, so because the clients are not aware of what they're asking in terms of wood, they can only see the finishes. So client came up with an option that they wanted this particular kind of a chair, which was whitish finish, which is a byproduct, which is a finished product of a mango wood kind of a chair, where the wood used is mango wood. But the client doesn't want to use mango wood at their home, and they only want to use the teak wood. So we face that kind of a challenges. Teak wood is a very darker wood, so it's difficult to bring a darker wood back to a lower grade, as in the whiter grade wood, back to the mango wood. So we come across these kind of challenges, or sometimes a client would come up with their own kind of designs, and they bring it to us and they tell us to implement it, which is not here, or the clients will come up with the photographs which they would have seen somewhere outside. So that particular wood you may not be able to get here in India. So these are some kind of challenges that we face with the clients. Then talking about the workshops, there are numerous, numerous kind of challenges that we can talk about. At any particular piece, if you see a furniture, there are many, there are basically it's the shape first. Once the design is finalized, the shop drawing is done. We take the shape of an arm, a leg, the sides, the seat, the back. All these is done on a 1:1 scale on a piece of veneer or a plywood. In Hindi, it's called a farma, as in you make a 1:1 scale how your cutting of the wood is going to be. Then in the market, you will get pieces, log pieces, which are in particular sizes. So which particular wood section would be used to make what particular part of your chair or part of your furniture is where the technicality gets involved. Before that, there is a technical knowledge involved into it. What kind of wood are you procuring? Is your wood seasoned enough? Is your wood coming from right kind of a tree? There is an age of a tree. If the age of a tree is not much more, it's very less, and the tree is cut, the wood which we get from there will be a kacha wood, will not be that strong enough. You don't want complaints from the client that anyway you don't want to deliver such kind of a chair which is not made from the good wood. So right from procuring of the wood, what kind of wood you are procuring, what kind of section you need to procure to make a particular furniture. Then you make the design. That's what I told you, the farma. After that, you go on to the joinery of the chair, as in what piece goes into a what piece, what kind of joinery detail are you using, what you're using a dovetail joint or using the other joint. So how are you joining them, and how thin or thick is the section? Say for example, this kind of a chair the client had got us, which was much thinner section, but then it's very flimsy, it's not structurally that strong enough. So we had to advise them that we can't go for a very thin section, we had to go for a thicker section in this particular chair. This is a particular kind of a bar chair I remember, wherein we had manufactured it at a workshop, as in its carpentry is done, the craftsmanship is done. The moment we used to go and sit on the chair used to turn back. So we've designed it, everything is fine, but the moment we sit, the chair would turn back. It'll make you turn behind, as in you'll fall down from the chair. So working on the structural part of it so that it's stable. I mean, a very small piece like chair has such involvements as well. So these are some kind of nitty-gritties that we go when in terms of manufacturing. Then obviously this is that chair which I was talking about. It's actually how do I show you? It's this darker wood, which we had to make this lighter wood. So working on its polish was literally a nightmare. We literally had few sleepless nights to work it out for the client. Then it's very nice here to get the workmen still who are able to do the jute and the rope kind of a work, and these kind of details also go in there. So this poor polished guy, if you see, is holding this wood sort of a ruler or a scale, and from his blade, if you see in his hand, is making lines like these thin lines on the teak wood furniture to make it look like a wood which is a mango wood. So these kind of challenges which we face at the workshop. He literally did single line at all 8 chairs that we had to do for their house to make it look like a mango wood, but inside is a teak wood. And trust me, from the client post the delivery, she tells me that, oh, have you really used the teak wood or it's a mango wood? I said, ma'am, please cut the section and see it's the teak wood. And I think I've done my job pretty well when you call it and ask me that is it a mango wood? So yeah, these kind of challenges that we face, there are times when you do these kind of detail carving on the chairs as well with the polished products. So these are those dining chairs which I'm talking to you. The two were the bar chairs and the dining chairs. So they are this light as you see here in the presentation. This is pictures from the client's house. I'm sure she's happy now. And this is another piece of client which we did. This is the natural teak wood that you see, all designed and done by us. This is the whole set which the client has taken from us. And yeah, that's another one that we did for a client who's 80 plus. She doesn't have many people coming into her home, but she wanted a nice relaxing sofa for herself. And the bar chair, this is the chair which I was talking about, which would turn upside down the moment we used to finish. So we had to work out its angle and at what place are we putting up this particular piece and how deep is the backrest going. If the backrest is too back, then obviously you will turn. So these are the kind of ergonomics that we have to work while working even on a single piece of furniture. Thanks to the craftsmen that we have at our workshop, we are able to produce these kind of detail carving at our workshop. And this is another testimonial from our client. Yeah, that's it. Can I stop sharing? There you go. Over to DQ Labs.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Garima. It's very nice work. I had visited your studio sometime in February. I was in love with every single piece that you have got there.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you,
the
Grace.
quality of work is superb, and the entire ambience is so very nice, so it was amazing. And I recommend all the audience, all the viewers, please try to visit her studio, look at her work. It's amazing stuff. All right. And also, there's a nice website you can go and check. Excuse me. You can visit the website and check all the furnitures. So there are a couple of questions here.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, 1 minute. I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Right. The first question is by Kushi. Kushi is asking, looking at your work, do you offer internships?
Yes, We do offer internships. You can anytime speak to me about it.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. So they have a manufacturing unit as well. So whatever you design, you can actually go there and see it manufactured.
Yeah.
So that's the important part. And then Shafiq is asking,
Yes, Shafiq.
ma'am, being a furniture designer, are you supposed to cover the interior designing part as well?
So, as I'm an architect, I can't limit my work only to the furniture design. There are times when clients have come in to our store when they don't want to invest into another consultant, as in a separate interior designing. So they do take our consultancy in that case. So yeah, in your question's case, yes, the answer is yes.
Yes, they do that. And in fact, they take a lot of load um, from the could be the client or from the architect who is designing the entire space, because Garima and her brother, being architects, they understand the essence of that space, and the client just has to show the space and they come up with the furniture that would fit very well into the whole space, right? So they give that added advantage, being architects and understanding the sensitivities and aesthetics of space, right?
Hmm.
Girisha is asking why it is named as seven pillar design. Any logic or story behind it?
Yeah, there is a story behind it. It's more on the spiritual side. So it's based on my guru who was born on 7th July, and I've been guided to. I mean, me and my brother have been guided to open up this store. It was a message from him to start something like this on your own. So that's the reason we started it, and that's why being giving it a name Seven Pillars is sort of a gratitude. Whatever we can give to him on his name is Seven Pillars. That's the reason. Yeah.
Right. So Shafiq is saying, ma'am, the workshop
Yeah.
phase is the most important one, right? So should a furniture designer also know carpentry?
When you will undergo the training of product designing or furniture designing or industrial designing, I'm sure they will take you to hands-on with the at the workshop. So even in my architecture, I have gone to a workshop. We have worked on hands-on with the carpentry. So, in fact, if you're pursuing industrial design or furniture designing, not only just wood, they will give you hands on with other materials as well. So, yes, it is definitely necessary for you to understand what tools do they need, what tool will bring you what kind of a final product. And, so it's very important for you to understand the craftsmanship, how the craftsman is working on it.
Right. And being in this creative profession, it is important for the architects, designers, etc., to get their hands dirty by working these projects
True.
on our own. So we got to understand, because unless you do on your own, you do not know the problems that are faced by these craftsmen to when they create these projects. All right.
Very
So the
true.
first hand experience is very much important. In fact, if you're joining an architecture school, you'll be asked to lay bricks, work with bricks, make arches, right? And
True.
you have to put yourself in the craftsman or the worker's place. Sometimes you may have to do plumbing work, work with pipes, or be take the role of an electrician, right? Or take the role of a maestri, and it's a lot of fun, guys. I mean, it's all hands-on learning. So when you do this kind of a stuff, and when you go into the profession, you will be in a position to guide others, right, to help them execute your vision. So
True.
yes, it is important if you understand these skills hands on, right? Even a carpentry is important, right? Okay. So Nikita is asking, what is your specialization in architecture course, ma'am?
My specialization, as in my master's, or
Yeah, so we're just trying to clarify. her
Okay.
and also the students.
My master's
And,
was in building performance and sustainability from
right,
National University of Singapore. So they offer 1 year master's program wherein you study about different in design engineering of the building, as in you're talking about the water, you're talking about the air quality, you are talking about optimization using of the space. You're also talking about the energy consumption, the water harvesting, the water consumption of the whole buildings. So that is all in all building performance and sustainability talks about. So that was my master's in.
right, right. So what happens is in Bachelor of Architecture, there is no specific specialization per se. Okay, so you are made to create spaces and whatever comes in the spaces, right? So you'll be equipped to do all that. But however, depending on the college, you can take special credit courses. All right, so these credit courses could be like, okay, some colleges will offer a 6 month product design course or maybe a furniture design course or these kind of a special courses. But there is no specific specialization per se at bachelor's level in architecture. Okay. Um, right. So Garima, did we lost you or you are there?
No, I'm here,
You're there.
very much
All
here.
right. Okay. 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 So what I'll do is, all right. So let's go to the next question. Mm, all right. So somebody by name Small Citizen is asking, ma'am, are you open next Saturday or Sunday? I think he wants to visit
So we,
your store.
before this lockdown in Bangalore, we used to open Saturday, Sundays, and but now that there's a lockdown, we are just closed on Sundays. Otherwise, we are working 6 days a week.
All right. So you are open on Saturday, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Next Saturday you're open. Yes.
Yes,
So there
yes,
you go.
yes,
So you
yes.
have a visitor coming on Saturday then.
Most welcome.
Right. So Chaitanya Deshpande is asking, ma'am, you had showed a chair that used to overturn, even
Yeah.
even though the calculations were correct. Hmm. What was the reason for it to overturn?
So the calculations, you can't calculate it when you are designing. You are just designing. You are just designing at that time, okay? Once you have designed it, now it needs to be design engineered. That means you would figure out that how is it working. Even it looked like it will work, it didn't work out for us. So these kind of experimentation you have to do, especially new pieces, it's not just one time, it's been always that we don't make a new piece on a fresh, good quality wood. We would make a fresh piece, the newly designed piece on first on a trial basis on a lower quality wood to check all these kind of stuff. So there is no calculation. That's the reason these kind of things you will face, you know, from your experience and what was the mistake. Maybe an angle was wrong. It's not a wrong or right here. It's more of the design. So we had to alter the design. You had to change its angle at where it was going and joining the leg, and how deep the back was. That was an issue there. So these two are the things that we figured out.
Right. And it is quite interesting to see that overturn chair. It is so very beautiful. I mean, from a launch chair to a bar stool kind of a thing,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So it is very, very thoughtful. It's very thoughtful. Um, yeah. Okay. So Shafiq is asking, ma'am, can you share the challenges that you have faced being such an amazing businesswoman in this industry? Can you also share some tips for us, ma'am?
Okay, the challenges are endless. The learnings are endless. To be very frank, I mean it's never ending. You learn every day. You learn from each and every client, and be it any industry, be it furniture design, architecture, interior. You learn from each and every client. You learn from each and every worker who is working under you. So there are numerous amount of challenges that I can talk about. In terms of tips, I would say that industry, what I find in India, that's the, I mean, I wouldn't want to name it like India, but what I find here is that commitment is an issue. Commitment is an issue with the work people who are working here. the quality is an issue, as in people don't strive to get that perfect quality. So, and if you have that kira of, being a perfectionist, or you really want your products to be the best for the client, you keep struggling for it. So it's kind of a struggle, but I'm sure another 5 years, 20 years down the line, we will one day be able to make our workmanship, or our workers know that no, the quality is very important, the time commitment is very important. So these are the kind of challenges that we face more or less every day. Sometimes one of the challenges, which I told you before as well, is that the clients are not that aware of what they are asking for. Clients would come see something and ask something. They would come up with a lower quality of furniture and come up and say, see, this particular person is charging so less, and why are you charging some more? Then we have to educate the client. We have to make the client very well aware of, see, what the kind of wood has been used. Is it really a wood or not? So those kind of tips that I would give, we keep often, in educating our client. And as far as another tip is concerned, is another tip is that keep learning, dear. Just keep learning. That's the best tip I can give you at in this live session, is that keep learning. Never think that you are educated enough to know you don't need to learn. I literally, that particular example that I gave you, where my painter did one single stroke in that furniture line, I literally learned it from my painter. I didn't know that we could have ever achieved it. Had I know that he is doing it, I would have told him not to do it. But this guy worked day and night to make us achieve that particular, finish for those 6 to 8 chairs. So we keep learning. This is one important tip that I can give you here on a live session.
Right. So Malvika Prakash is asking, ma'am, what does the logo of the 7 pillar indicate?
It's a 7 and a P.
It's 7 and a P.
Yeah, it's 7 and a P. It's not that well thought about, but we just liked it.
Okay. All right. So the small citizen is back saying they are planning on buying a sofas for their TV room.
Okay,
So, so they would probably visit you this Saturday.
most welcome.
And they can also custom make you design.
Yeah,
So they are known for custom made designs. So whatever designs you want, they can make it and give you. And guys, you should trust me, the quality is superb. I really love that single sofa that you have made, single sofa with a coffee table kind of a thing. That's
thanks
there
so
on
much.
your website as well. So
Yeah,
I'm in love with that. I mean,
thank you.
unfortunately, now I have become a nomad. I don't have a proper place. Otherwise, I would have bought that piece. But probably after this lockdown, probably I will definitely look into that. Right. So Chaitanya is asking, what inspired you to take up furniture design after spending so many years in architecture?
Okay, as I mentioned before, I'll take you back. My father used to have a business of furniture decor a long time back when I was young, when I was in 9th, 10th class that time. And so I brought up in a place where all these tools and all these materials were very hands-on. A, the reason was that, and I wanted to do something of my own. B, my brother wanted us to do something together. That was another reason that he pulled me from Dubai to here. D, I was guided by my spiritual whatever, to take something of my own. So the best suited for us was furniture design, furniture decor, because we've already been into this industry, and it's something which I can do it from my heart. We really go into the deep detail to help the client to get the best, even if they might think that it's just a furniture for them, but it's a world to us. So we give our heart to it, and that's the reason that made me move from architecture to furniture design. So I'm sort of doing something that I love to do. That's the prime reason, you can say.
Right. So architect Garima's husband is also an architect,
Yeah.
right? So he's practicing in Dubai in medical
Yeah,
or
he's into
in
healthcare
healthcare.
architecture firm. He's
Healthcare architect.
primarily managing studio there. as in terms of BIM and Revit. So he's always been on the technical side of architecture, wherein
Hmm.
you go into how the drawings are being produced, how all the consultants' drawings will get coordinated together. So he is handling big, like 1,000-bedded hospital kind of projects.
Right. So Nazia is asking, so same question, similar question to Chaitanya. Have you stopped practicing architecture or doing
No, I'm still
furniture
open
design
to
or
it.
no?
No,
Yeah.
that never ends.
So once an architect, you cannot unbecome an architect. Right? It's
True,
like learning cycling. Once you learn a
true,
cycle, you never forget cycling, right? So,
true.
so once you become an architect, you cannot give away that profession. It's such a nice profession of creation and bringing life into lifeless. So you cannot stop practicing architecture.
And you can't say that even when you see me practicing furniture or you see me designing furniture or running a store, you can't say that I'm not practicing architecture because
Hmm.
that keeps getting in here. You can't separate yourself and then think about it. So it's your part,
Right.
as Umesh said. It's really your part.
Right. So Sudhakar is asking, very nice designs. Is any CAD involved in furniture design for validation before manufacturing blueprint?
So CAD is involved, dear. Yes, the CAD is involved. The 3D is also involved, but there is no validation to it. That will it work or
Hmm.
not? So that's the catch there.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. So once you do 3D of these furniture pieces, would you mill it? Would you use a 3-axis or 5-axis milling machine to mill the thing, or what is the process of manufacturing these
Okay, no, we
computer
don't.
generated
No,
furniture?
we don't mill it. Mostly the elevations are used, the plans are used, and
The
the
profile.
section is
Yeah.
used, yeah, for the profile. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. But rest all is all handmade.
Rest is
Hand.
all handmade. Yeah, it's actually, I mean, it's kind of a this particular the style of furniture which Seven Pillars is following
Hmm. Hmm.
is not that board or MDF kind of furniture with mixture of this particular thickness, and now you're going 1 mil over or 1 mil less. So because it's handcrafted, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's the
So
beauty
I
of it,
think
I
we
would
have to
say.
understand here that the furniture seven pillar design studio is creating is not like a mass manufactured furniture. It's not something that you find in Urban Ladder or Pepper Fry. These are all manufactured, mass manufactured. What Garima's design studio is doing is custom made pieces. These are unique pieces, you know, one in a million or one in the world, right? So that's
It is like
the
that.
specialty. Yeah. So how much time does it take to create one piece of furniture, Garima?
So usually we'll take an order for 6 to 8 weeks to get it done, right from
Okay.
manufacturing to polishing to showing, finally sending it to the client's site. Yeah.
Oh wow. All right. So how many hours of workmanship will be there in that one piece of furniture? Once,
Oh,
let
so
us say you have designed and given to the carpenter for the craftsman to do it. So how many
hmm.
days would it take for each piece? Like let us say a sofa or maybe a
Yeah.
chair.
So tell you to tell you how what sort of a cycle it goes is that if the wood is already procured by us, then the
Mm-hmm.
procurement time is not taken into consideration. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as a straight line sofas are concerned, with only the arms, the legs, the ones which I showed you, say a single chair, if we are talking about, then a single chair would take around 2 to 3 days to get it handcrafted by the carpenter. That also depends upon the kind of design we are working on.
Mm-hmm.
Is the section circular? Is the section going thinner at the edges? Is the section square? So
Mm-hmm.
square sections are easier to work out. You don't have to do so much amount of lathing there. And in terms of round sections, there is more amount of workmanship that's involved. Once that is done, then he tries to fix it up. That takes another day. Then he'll leave it for drying. then the polisher will come. So it's around, I would say around 4 to 5 days for a particular sofa chair, one single sofa
Right,
chair for from the carpenter's hand.
right, right. That's amazing. That's amazing. Hmm. Okay, so Kushi is asking, what is your first priority while designing furniture? Is the materials or the designs or to bring in innovation?
To be very frank, we first check out the style. What's the brief from the client? What is he or she is looking at in his furniture? Okay. Next becomes the ergonomics. Is the
Hmm,
client high? Is the client low in height? What kind of a back support does he want? What kind of height of a chair he's looking at? Okay. So now here we've talked about the style. When I'm talking about the image, we've talked
hmm,
about the ergonomics. Then goes on to the design part of it. Now is
hmm,
the innovation part. There are very few clients who would really want us to go and innovate, frankly telling you, on each and every piece. They would usually have made up their mind in a first or a
hmm,
second shot of piece. So we don't get so much amount of freedom to go and design each and every piece.
hmm, hmm,
But yeah, still there is designing involved in terms of angles and the heights and other stuff. So it's more of styling and the ergonomics that takes first the priority. The last priority comes as the workmanship or the workshop implementation, what we call it as the design engineering. Then
hmm,
is that design feasible on ground reality or not?
hmm,
Because that is done. Obviously, the stage is the later stage.
hmm,
It comes the design in the design process. That's the very late stage that comes. So by the time design client has already finalized his design, he's finalized his finish, then you go and take it to the workshop. Now, if there is a failure in that particular design in terms of design engineering, we are not able to execute it as we had designed it exactly, then we have to go to and fro back to the client, telling them this is a minute change we are doing it to fix it. So first intention is obviously to get it fixed on our own. If it's not happening and we have to change the design in terms of angle or some other support or whatever, then we go back to the client, tell them that this is being done because of so and so reason, and then we go back to the workshop. So it's kind of a to and fro, but in terms of priority, it's the style and the ergonomics of what client wants.
Yes, yes. I think in what Kushi has asked, she has mentioned the first priority as designing furniture, that is materials or designs or bringing in innovation. So what is missing in the question is our client satisfaction or client's need. I mean, the first priority is to understand the client's need and and see what they require, because we may have beautiful ideas and innovative products and innovative use of materials and all that, but if the client is not looking for that, then there is no point in having or experimenting all these. So as a designer,
True.
our first priority is to understand what client wants and then work towards that. Okay, great.
True.
So Nikita is asking about your college. So you have done from Sushant, right, Garima?
Yeah, yes.
Sushant School of Architecture.
Sushant School of Art and Architecture. Those time it used to be under IP University, affiliated
Yes,
from IP University Delhi, and currently I think Sushant is an independent university that's under Ansar University.
Anshul University. Yeah, and
Ansar,
later you have
Ansar
done your masters from NUS Singapore.
NUS Singapore. Yeah.
Right. So a small question about the NUS Singapore one. Okay, see, um, you have done your masters there, but have the Singapore government given you a scholarship option where they take away 50% of your fee, and but you have to work with Singapore government or Singapore-based company for a couple of years?
Yeah,
Was that option there? Yeah.
yeah, there was an option there, but I didn't opt for that option. So I didn't
Okay, you
take
didn't
that
opt for
option,
that.
but
All
yes,
right.
the option was there.
Okay, okay, okay. And your admission to the masters happened through a portfolio, a interview, or a written exam?
Just the application, trust me.
Just the application. All right.
Yeah, just the
Okay.
application.
And
I
how was
had
your
the lead.
experience? Yeah, please go on.
Sorry. Yeah, I had the lead SGBC and I had 5 years of experience when I was applying for my master's. So I
Okay.
guess that's what helped me to get my admission there. Yeah.
All right. Okay. How was it studying at NUS Singapore?
It's mind blowing. It's an eye opening. To be very frank, in India
Mhm.
we don't get that kind of in Sushant, I didn't get that kind of there. First of all, my subjects were very technical. It was not that design related. None of the subjects were design related. In fact, they all were technical.
Mhm.
And we used to sit with students who were from mechanical backgrounds, who would be a facility manager themselves,
Mhm.
or who would be working in BCA. That's the BCA green mark. That's already they are working in there. So I used to have part timers in my course.
Mhm.
So that was what was very challenging there. But nonetheless, the professors were really really good. They were really good. But those 3 hours of lecture, we used to actually record the lectures. Frankly telling you, we used to audio record the lectures so that we had to go back and listen to it more elaborately and then appear for our exams. And obviously,
Really?
it involved endless amount of library hours involved.
Okay. That's interesting. Hmm. So Chaitanya is asking, can you please suggest ways for architecture enthusiasts to learn more about various materials? So this is coming from a student who is doing his 11th. Okay,
Okay.
so how at this point of time they can get aware about various materials and etc.
Umesh, would you like to take this answer? I'm sure you can much handle this question. You know, you've
Right,
much
right.
better
So
answers.
my take on this question is, guys, please visit visit workshops, visit craftsmen, work with them. Okay, on a Saturday or Sunday, be with them, observe what they are doing. It's all hands-on. All right, so you can't just Google and find a material and see a YouTube video on how they are working. It's not going to help. So it's all hands-on. But yes, currently maybe that is not possible. So
Yeah.
probably you can create um, a list of materials that are available over there and do your what you call the internet study at this point of time. Keep the places and the workshops, names, etc. ready. Once the lockdown is over, once you are able to move around, you can visit those places and gain first-hand experience.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, let the COVID, I mean, this scenario get over. Say, example, you can just go to a normal welding shop, sit with him,
Hmm.
see how he is welding, what he's
Yes.
welding, what kind of welding joints he's doing. This is one kind of an example. You may go to a place where construction is going on. Observe what's happening
Hmm.
in the construction before. What are the laborers doing? How are they even picking up the blocks? To how are they laying that whole pile of blocks? Each and everything has a reason to it. So all these small exposures will give you very hands-on experience. And trust me, you don't have to find courses for that. You just have to
Hmm.
move around out of your house, and you will find umpty number of such places where you can gain experience from.
I,
Absolutely.
I
And
think
other suggestion.
I think if I
Uh,
can add to that,
yeah.
I think they can also start with something simpler by even just walking around their own houses and observing
Yes.
the
Yes.
types of material.
DIY. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I was about to tell that as a second option. Okay. In fact, there are two attendees in this particular e-meet. I would like to take their names. One is Sudhakar. Okay, he's one of my old friends. We used to be colleagues at General Motors. Now he comes from his dad is a carpenter and he does nice furniture items and all that. But Sudhakar, what he does is he takes stuff that is available all around his house, like for example, the coconut shells or any discarded material and etc. And he creates very interesting stuff. So he pre-processes that material and gives a different form to it. Okay, so he does some fantastic work. And there is another student by name uh, Vivek. Okay, so Vivek is a 12th grader. He has passed a 12th grade now. I hope he is in this e-meet. So he has his own. He's a he's mad about carpentry. All right. So he's so very mad that he has set up a small carpentry workshop in his home. And he does
Wow.
all this intricate stuff. Okay. Intricate boxes and joinery and etc. as a hobby. Right. So this is the way you can also explore the materials that are available around you and tweak them, manipulate them, understand them thoroughly. All right, Chaitanya. Okay, so Girisha is asking, Garima, your works are more around traditional. Have you explored modern materials also? If yes, can you please share some in modern or high-tech furniture areas?
Yeah, I have such, I've come across such a client, so I have such presentations at my laptop currently. But yeah, we have worked around. But frankly, telling you, that's not one of my favorites to work on the contemporary designs, more on the glass and the mirrors. But we have worked on it.
Right, right. So they work with all the materials. As I said, it is their duty to satisfy the client's requirement.
Right.
So if the client requires them to use glass, steel, brass, or bronze, any other material, they are willing to use that material and create. Okay. Um, okay. So Sudhakar is asking, how are you selecting wood based on design and applications?
So the wood is not selected on the basis of design. It's more primarily on the finish, like one few percent on the finish, and the rest is all on what quality of wood is the client looking at. So
Hmm.
when you see a section of a tree, you will see its grain, those rounds grain. So more darker the wood, the more aged will it be, more seasoned it will be. On that basis, the wood is selected. But primarily at our store, we are dealing with teak wood. That's a very high quality wood. At the other level, we deal with shisham and also mango. So more, I mean, so depend. So it's on the quality of the wood that it is selected on.
Right. Divanshi Goyal is asking, ma'am, do you also do like the space saving furniture?
The foldable kinds. No,
Yeah, the folding
we have
kind.
not been able to do that yet. We haven't done that.
Okay, okay, okay. So probably I guess it's the kind of clientele who go for custom design. They
Yeah,
have the luxury of space, so
true.
they might not be looking for a space saving furniture kind of a requirement. Right? And mostly these clients are also a little affluent and they have kind of a exclusive taste for these furniture pieces and they want everything to be hand done and have that craftsmanship shown at
Yeah.
every inch, you know yeah, yeah. Okay. So Chaitanya is asking, does Vastu play an important role in the color and design of interiors?
Hmm. I don't know. I haven't done Vastu, but I don't think so. It's more on the placement of where the bed is placed, how is it being faced, or where are you facing when your guest is entering in living room, but not on terms of color. It may play like some people have not to use black kind of scenes. We've got such clients where people don't want to use the black upholstery, but I don't think so. Beyond the positions or the color of the upholstery, it plays much role.
Hmm. So I don't know this person's name, but he's saying a small citizen. So he's getting very excited. So he wants to buy sofas. He's asking, do you make blue color sofas?
Yeah, we do make blue color sofas.
I would like to show that particular piece, a piece on your website, which I really love. Okay, let me share my entire screen. Where is it? Oops. All right, it's here. Okay, so let me share my entire screen. Or Sun Color Design Studio. So when he's saying blue color sofa, I think the one that I like is also a blue color sofa. It's an amazing
Oh,
one.
Elvis. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I have it saved.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, right? Oops. How come I'm missing that? It's not there on the front page. Okay,
Wait,
that one, that one.
yeah.
But I think, yeah, this is the one. This is an amazing piece. I mean, amazing quality. The fabric quality and the foam quality, the wood quality is really, really good. Yeah, so they do customize these sofas. So yes.
Other than the website, you guys are most welcome to check out the Instagram as well. The Instagram
All
handle,
right. Yeah,
seven,
please share the Instagram handle.
yeah, it's 7pillars.design. I'll repeat it again. It's 7pillars.design.
Yeah, so please guys go check out their work over there. Chaitanya Deshpande, can you please explain what healthcare architecture is? I never knew this field.
Okay, healthcare architecture is about designing of hospitals building, primarily not just the hospitals, the clinics as well. So there is a lot of, I may not be the best person to answer, but I'll still try my best. So there are a lot of machineries and the equipments that goes in OT room, the regular OPDs, as in there is oxygen, there is high filtration. So all that's involved into an OPD and the operation theaters and other stuff. So the all that architecture that revolves around the medical industry is termed as healthcare architecture.
Hmm. Right. Shafiq
I
is
mean, there
asking
are,
which one.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, there are specialized consultants who would just do OPDs. There are nursing consultants. There are different sort of consultants even in non-hospital building. So it's not just a regular architecture program that would help you to manifest into the designing of hospitals.
Hmm. Right. So, in fact, one of my seniors, he is a healthcare architecture specialist. He does only hospital designs. All right. So probably we'll try to get some of these professionals to one of the e-meets.
Yeah, I think we've met him, right, Umesh? I don't remember the name, but I think we've
Uh, I'm not sure. The person I know is Satya Kiran. He is my senior.
yeah. I met him. Yeah.
You met him, is it?
Yeah, I'll tell you where did you get him and how you met him.
Oh, is it? That's an amazing thing. It's a small world.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So Shafiq is asking which one is good, doing design and furniture designing or architecture and furniture designing. So he's basically asking BDES and furniture design or B.Arch and furniture design.
What do you suggest, Umesh?
My personal suggestion is okay. So architecture gives such a nice platform. It makes it transforms a person, an individual into a professional, right? And then the possibilities are amazing after doing architecture. So my personal preference, it's a personal preference, all right. So my personal preference is doing architecture and then diversifying into the area that you are interested in. But there are certain students who hate math or who do not want to study architecture, but they want to do design, etc. So for those students, doing interior design or furniture design in any one of the design schools is a good option. Okay.
Okay.
As I'm
I'll,
telling you, this is my personal opinion from my
yeah.
side. Yeah.
Okay. I'll also tell you my answer. So coming on, I'm on the other side of the industry, as in where I interview people, for our studio. So
Mhm,
I'll just share a story. I happened to engage an interior designer. His first
mhm,
qualification was civil engineer, not even interior
mhm,
designer, a product designer. His
mhm,
first education was civil engineering. We were very confident seeing his college work. But
mhm,
after we after we took him on board, we realized that he lacks all that an architect would know, very basic
Hmm.
things, not even, I
Hmm.
mean, forget about what exactly product designing would make you lead to, but
Hmm.
very,
Hmm.
very basics of aesthetics, style, decor that we talk of, the overall image that we talk of. Therein,
Hmm.
today I get an answer from Umesh. Yeah, it's probably because he didn't do architecture, because he hasn't done
Hmm.
architecture. And for that matter,
Right.
in fact, at my studio, I prefer hiring an architect. Like,
Hmm.
it has to, he or she has to be an architect source.
Has to be an architect.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So the curriculum of architecture is such a way that a budding architect, I mean, any student who has done that coursework thoroughly are well equipped with various kinds of skills and abilities and aesthetics and all of that, so nobody can beat such kind of a person. Anyway, again, this is my personal opinion. So Sam Bellare is asking, how much money do you spend to make a prototype? I think in Seven Pillars Design Studio case, there is no prototype. The prototype is the final design, if I'm not wrong. Garima?
Yeah, does he mean the prototype means the first run that we do at the workshop for any particular furniture? Does he mean by that as a prototype?
So when we talk of prototype, especially let's take the case of urban ladder. Okay, now
Oh,
they when
okay.
they create a piece, they'll be selling them in thousands and millions, right?
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
create a
yeah.
prototype. They have a mock-up, they have a prototype, and then
No,
if the prototype is good, then they go into the manufacturing. But in your case, your prototype is the final piece.
yeah, true, true, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So for us, it's not that way.
yeah, and that is the reason they are also little. I'm not sure if they are expensive or not expensive, but these are unique pieces, right? So generally, when we try to make a prototype, the prototype would cost us quite a lot, at least 10 times the original piece,
Yeah.
sometimes even more than that, you know? So, right. Okay, so Small Citizen is asking, how long has it been since the studio is open?
It's been a year around since the studio is opened.
It's a year around. But you have been doing or have been producing a lot of furniture pieces from your father's studio, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Right,
I mean, the journey started a year before studio was physically there.
right, right. So Manoj Rajani is saying your work is exquisite. So she's giving a thumbs up.
Thank you.
Which
Thanks a
type
lot.
of wood is good used to make your type of furniture like Burma teak or Nagpur teak, etc.?
So primarily, the Burma teak is should be the ideal one, but Nagpur teak is not that readily available in Bangalore. So we do work on Burma teak and the Nagpur teak if our material is coming from Delhi. Depends on how much the client
Hmm.
is ready to spend on the particular material or a piece.
Right. And not only this furniture, but you have a very good collection of antiques, isn't it? So I have seen some old bore wells and old
Yeah.
cart wheels turned into mirrors and very interesting stuff you have. So where do you procure all these from?
So these are primarily from the exporters all over India. We
Mhm.
are in touch with exporters, and there are auctions that we have to go in to get those pieces. That's how it's collectively. It's not just one place where you would get the pieces.
Right, right. So all these kind of very unique pieces are displayed in the studio.
The bronze sculptures that you see are work of a sculptress. Actually, it's by a sculptress himself, and
Right,
it's not our work. Yeah.
right. Of course, yeah. You engage craftsmen to
Yeah, so
get
there are,
pieces.
I mean,
Yeah,
kind of a collaboration with them that we've done.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Right. Um, so Abhay Shinoy is asking, um, how do you how do you know what price to set for the furniture you design? So how do you price your furniture?
depending upon how much amount of wood, the labor, and our time has been taken in that. That's how we
Right.
decide on the pricing.
Right. So it involves, because it's a custom design furniture, there's a amount of design that is involved, iterations that are involved. And then as she said, the materials, the amount of time for manufacturing them and polishing them. So uh, so it takes so considering all that, they price the furniture. And these are like lifelong pieces, isn't it? These are
Yeah,
very pieces and you can treasure them lifelong, right? Yeah. Okay, so Sudhakar is asking for ergonomics. Are you considering any tool for checking comfort? And for startup business in furniture design, what are the factors to consider?
so no, there is no tool to check the ergonomics as such. So,
Mhm.
so there are a few thumb rules and there are a few researches that we have to do when we come across a particular kind of client or particular kind of requirements by the client. That's
Hmm.
how we reach through it. And the second question was, sorry, Umesh, what was the startup? What?
So, to for a startup business in furniture design, what are the factors to consider? So, this is my friend Sudhakar, who has a family background of carpenters. They
Okay,
do a lot
I
of work.
should take
In
your
fact,
advice, Sudhakar.
no, no, I think it should come from you. He has this idea of starting something on his own since a long time. Okay, but I think it's his long time dream. So he's asking this question directly to you. I think you should be you are in a good position to give him the suggestion like what factors you should be considering to start up a business in furniture design.
Yeah, the market scenario, the style of furniture a particular market is in demand with,
Hmm.
and kind of I mean, it's very difficult for us. What challenges we are facing, I can tell you that, and what factors be considered. I don't call my, probably I should sit with you and make myself a successful person and then say, okay, these are the guidelines to
Right.
to start up a business in furniture. But definitely, it'll be
Okay.
nice to get in touch with you off the live session and to learn more from you. In fact,
Yes, yes. I think I definitely connect you with Sudhakar. Now, you and Akshay, your brother, who is an architect as well, are taking care of the business. So, who takes what role?
wow, this question is coming from a student. I'm very inquisitive to know that first.
This is coming from Umesh Kumar student.
Who takes what role? Okay. So client handling will definitely first meeting with the client just happens by chance. Whosoever is at the store or whosoever receives the call or whosoever has received the reference. So there
Uh-huh.
are majorly initiation of a project is done from my hands. Mostly I receive the call, but it's from the website. It's him who receives the call. So it
Okay.
starts like that. Then the design, when the design is in, we start with a design brief. We make sure that we both sit for a design brief. And as far as the design is concerned, we both are involved into it. Then is only then the design goes to the client. Once the design has gone to the client, whosoever has spoken to the client first would go and directly speak to the client. That is where the
Mm,
client licensing has started. Now, from there onwards, once the client has decided the design,
mm,
it goes to him who would get it the shop drawings done from the staff and the colleagues in the studio. So he gets the designing the what you call the shop drawings ready. Once the shop drawings are ready, it collectively goes to the workshop. The workshop has a manager who sort of manages these pieces. So we
okay.
kind of first lies with him. But it's overall his responsibility, Akshay's responsibility to go and check at the workshop and all. There are some times when, because the workshop, I'm not that very frequent visitor at the workshop, but if there are some
Mm,
challenges which because he's junior to me. He's 9 to 10 years junior to me. So he sometimes feels he can sometimes come across some challenges where he says that no, I really need you need to intervene right now. So that is when
Hmm.
I go and initiate at the workshop. If my experience can be of any help there, that's how it's been taken care. But once the client has decided the design is frozen, even the client handling is done by him. He's very good at handling clients. So you need a pro
Okay.
in handling clients. So he's the one.
Okay. Cool. 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 Arushi is asking, have you worked with sustainable furniture? Or let me reframe. So, do you consider sustainability when you're designing your furniture?
Arishi, you're touching on to my heart. So since I've started this business, I am not liking this part of using the new wood. I still haven't figured
Hmm.
out how to go and reuse the refurbished wood or an FSC certified wood. So that's probably I also want to do in future. So till now, the answer is no, I have not, and I hope I really want to do this in future. Yes.
Right. Manoj Rajani is asking, teak wood are from different countries. So, can you say which is good to use? Burma, Nagpur, Kerala, etc.
So the in India, Nagpur is the best. Then is the Kerala, and then is the border or the Burma teak that is called.
Mhm.
That's how. I mean, yeah, sorry, the Burma teak takes the best place, but within India, it's first the Nagpur and then the Kerala.
Right. Okay.
Umesh, I have a few questions for Garima,
Yes, please.
if I
Yes,
could
please.
ask.
Yes, please.
Garima, so when we interact with the parents, there's a lot of questions from parents: is architecture a good career for my daughter? Okay, or is what would be a good career for my daughter? So what I think is, so I just want your opinion on this, because you are balancing family, you're balancing work, and it's not easy to do all of that and still running a successful, I mean, a very good business. So how do you balance all that?
Okay, I don't think so. I'm a pro at it, and I'm at a stage which can answer your question. But still, since it has come into my goal, I will answer that question. So, architecture is one career to any parent, I would like to say, which involves, which is not a kind of a, this is not like an IT profession wherein you go 9 o'clock, you log out at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and you go off to sleep. Sorry, no, it is not like that. Be it a furniture, be it a building, be it an interior work, that your child is involved into it, a particular person is involved into it. It goes around the clock. Okay, if you are getting an interior work done, then you have to make sure at the side everything is in peace, even right from your labor, not disturbing to the next neighbor, to how the finishes are coming and how not just how the design has come up. The design then takes a backseat when it goes on to the implementation. Then it's all on the how are you implementing and how is being taken. So talking about the balancing, it's really difficult. It's quite a challenging. I don't want to give you a hunky dory story where I would say that everything is up to the mark. My store is open before COVID. Our store was open 7 days a week, so I was working 7 days a week. And I have a child where my husband is not here in town with us. He's in Dubai. So I have to take care of my 8-year-old with his all that school that goes on. So it's quite challenging, but it's quite. But the best thing about this profession is when you love it, then you do it. Then you don't mind doing it because you love it. You get that. You get that very. You get that nice essence out of working on it, so you just keep doing it. But yeah, it's not a very hunky dory kind of a profession where you log in at 9, you sleep at 5. No, it's not at all like that. It's a profession right from your child's architecture days or the studying days till whatever time it will take, round the clock involvement of your mind. Even when you are watching any movie, you will be constantly watching at the architecture and the furniture. But that's the best part of it, trust me. So yeah.
Thank you. That's interesting.
I hope I answered the question, Dion.
Yeah, of course. Because actually, it's a challenging thing. It's a very challenging thing, especially since your husband is based in another country and you are here managing this and your child alone. So that's definitely a challenging place to be in. And
Yeah,
this is
Dion, your
really
voice is too low.
yeah. So is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is challenging and actually very inspiring because we have a lot of girls who really want to take up this career, and this is their thought process and how do a lot of them think of this, or their parents think of this, that this needs to be balanced. So it's pretty inspiring.
Hmm. Cool. So we have one last question from Kushi, who is asking, what kind of client is, uh, what quality of client is something goes easy for you as a designer? So she's asking, what kind of clients do you prefer to have?
The client who gives us a slight brief on what they're looking at, what kind of a
Right.
lifestyle they want in their house, what kind of an image they want of their house to be, and then they leave not all to us, but at least leave the designing of selection of few items on us, and and they're not budget constrained for sure. That's the kind of, because when you go take liberty in terms of design and the quality and the finishes and the upholstery, then budget becomes another hindrance there. So that's, I'm being very upfront on it, but yeah, that's it.
Right. Right. I think, yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please do ask. Please feel free to ask. All right. So, but please do visit Seven Pillars Design Studio whenever you are going there. Okay. So they have some fantastic pieces, custom made, and in fact, the entire studio has been designed. That the building was designed by architect Jason,
Yeah,
right? And you can also experience the sustainable architecture over
true.
there, isn't it?
True. Very true.
Sustainable architecture. You are quite lucky to have that space. I mean, I don't know how you bumped with that space, but it really fits very well for the kind of studio that you are trying to create, isn't it?
True, true,
It's
very
an
true.
amazing
That's
space.
really
Yes.
lucky, yeah. The
Yeah.
kind of, how it's knitted along with the nature with four-side greenery, and you
Right.
experience the breeze. I mean, throughout the summer months, there was no requirement of AC in that house just because of the naturally how it's been done. All the walls are blocks are
Yes.
insulated. It's a magnificent architecture for that.
Yeah. 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 In fact, I plan to get all my students to your studio once, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
lockdown. We could not do that. But it's a lovely, lovely place. And uh, I think if there are no questions, guys, from everybody, um, Garima, thank you so much for spending your valuable time on a Sunday evening. Okay, coming over here and visiting us. All right. I think
Thanks, Umesh.
uh, there is a comment from Sangeeta Rajani. As a parent of an architect and another design student, passion is everything. Thank you. Amazing work.
Thanks, Rajni. Thanks a lot. In fact, thanks, Umesh, and the team of DQ Labs to have me here on this platform. It's very nice to interact with students, and was the best part of this whole session was answering your questions, because it's kind of a learning for me, kind
Right.
of a mirror viewing. And are we really on the track? Are we doing something good? Are we doing something bad? So thanks a lot for all the students who are involved here. Thanks a lot for coming here and listening to me. I'm hopeful that I could be of any help to you guys. And please feel
Absolutely.
free
Definitely.
to get in touch with me through Instagram or through website. And yes, Umesh, sorry.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. I mean, there is a great wealth of information and experience that these guys can gain from interaction. So you are an architect, you have done masters in sustainable architecture, and then you have worked worldwide, and now you come back here to work on the furniture design. It's a great amount of experiences that you have got, and the work is highly professional. I cannot stress on that further. Amazing professional work that you are doing. High quality work. So this is
Thanks.
really nice. Um, Okay, so I think there's one more small question. So Sudhakar, it's a tough question. What challenges you face while bringing your design to end product with respect to craftsmanship? So,
Trust me, every design, once it gets, first of all, when we sit at the store and we don't have a client or we're waiting for a client to be there, then it looks like getting a client is a challenge. But once the design is frozen, the client is there, the design is frozen. After that, the challenge is all on its implementation. There are, if the product, if a particular piece is something that we similar to that we have done, or it's something which we feel that we have already made a similar kind, then it's still okay. But it's really challenging because how it's going to turn up right from the craftsman, as in the carpentry work, till the polisher, and after that the we've forgotten this upholstery guy who comes and does a brilliant job on it. So every stage is a challenge, and trust me, every day visits to the workshop is very necessary to keep a check on what was intended and is it coming up true or not. So these all are involved into it, and that's the most challenging job actually, to get these things produced.
right, right. Okay, so architect Jason has designed that house, but you have rented it out and you have converted that into your own studio
Yeah.
space, right? So what changes you had to do to accommodate it into or turn it into your own studio?
So we just made that first. The existing boundary wall was quite big. We brought it down to a particular level. Other than that, we didn't do any architectural changes as such. We converted the garage into our first one of the rooms as a show window room. So we introduced the glass there to allowing it to be a show window where their car used to be parked. The rest of the spaces have been as it is. So the drawing room, the dining area, and the upper sitting lobby, it all functions as they are. Our furnitures are kept as it is. It should be kept in the client's house. So entrance foyer furniture, has the decor pieces that should as it should be in a foyer. And yeah, so all architecture remains intact. None of the architecture is being touched. Only in terms of interiors, we just did the paint work. No false ceiling is done at the store. Yeah, so it's all same. We didn't do anything apart from changing its interior and bringing in our seven pillars products that's been there. So that's what gives
Hmm.
life to it.
Right. Okay. Great. Awesome. So thank you so much, Garima. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks once again, and pleasure
Okay.
having you here. And if possible, once this lockdown everything is lifted, I would definitely would want to come visit the studio one more time with all my students, and we would
Sure.
probably also have a sketching session over there because there's so much to capture.
I
Right?
get you. I get you perfectly anytime. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, and I would like to thank all the audience out there who have taken time and attended this e-meet. And please do visit Seven Pillars Design Studio and get inspired, buy some furniture. All right. So, amazing, and thank you for all of you. And thanks, Dion, for facilitating this session. All
Thanks,
right.
Umesh.
So, thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot, Garima.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Garib.
Thank you, Umesh. Thanks, Dion. Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks to all the
Bye.
participants.
Thanks. All
Take
right.
care.
Thank
Bye.
you all. Bye.